Hello, welcome to another Tuesday Takeaway. I'm glad you've taken just a moment or two to join with me as we reflect on our teaching from this last weekend. We talked about the blessing, Numbers chapter 6, verses 24 through 26. And really where I want to focus today is just on kind of how we concluded the message. And that is that just because a gift is given does not mean that it is received. That is to say, God has blessed us with the opportunity for salvation. And just because He has offered that to us does not mean we have to receive it. And so it's very important for us, if we're going to live in God's blessing, to receive God's blessing. That can be a hard thing for us to do because we are in a culture that is always looking beyond what we have to what we don't have. And maybe that's where you need to start today, is just by thanking God and understanding His blessing that He has given you. Maybe today you're in a situation where you just don't think that you're worthy to receive blessings from God. Well, for you, the challenge this week is going to be adjusting your framework of how you see yourself to how God sees you. This is all an important part of living a blessed life. We're not talking about all the goodies that God gets us. And as we said this weekend, the blessing comes after we go after God's heart. It's not about the hand of God, it's about the heart of God. Once we receive the heart of God, once we go after the heart of God, I should say, that's when His hand is extended with that blessing. God wants our heart, and He wants us to want His heart before we ever ask for His hand. How un-American that is. We're always asking for His hand. We're asking for more and all of this. Well, I want you to just reframe your focus today and take a moment or two to think about everything you do have. If you're missing some things health-wise, thank God for everything that you have health-wise. Maybe today you're like me and you've got a disease in your body. Well, there's a lot of places in my body that don't have a disease. And I can thank God for that blessing, the blessing of functionality. Maybe today it's a financial thing and you are struggling because you want more. Well, thank God and just wrap up and embrace the blessings that He has given you. Maybe you don't have the car that you want quite yet. Well, that's okay. You've got a car. That's a blessing. That's a blessing. And so it's really, I think, a matter of getting our thinking right. But we need to understand that as God's people, we are blessed. We are blessed whether or not we believe that or not. And the greatest blessing that was ever given, that was ever offered, is the blessing of salvation that Jesus offered to us on Calvary, and that He gives to us freely because He's paid it all, and we owe it all to Him. So remember today, friend, that you're blessed as a child of God. If you're not yet a child of God, I encourage you to join the family of God by saying yes to the blessing of God, the blessing of salvation, the blessing of His forgiveness. You'll be glad you did, and your life will never be the same. I trust you'll have a great day and that you'll join me again next week for another Tuesday Takeaway.